Welcome to Aggie Pride, a UC Davis football podcast, an interview-driven show focused on stories over stats, and your number one home for everything happening in FCS football, the Big Sky Conference, and of course, your UC Davis Aggies. Each week, we sit down with players, coaches, alumni, and voices around the program to dive deep into the stories that matter and have a little fun along the way. This is Aggie Pride. This episode is proudly sponsored by Next Level Sports, delivering the best youth sports experience. If you have a young, aspiring athlete in 1st through 7th grade, this is your chance to get on the field with Next Level flag football at UC Davis. All teams are coached by a current UC Davis Aggies football player, giving kids real mentorship from the same student athletes who practice and play on the same field within the Aggies football program. All activity takes place at UC Davis Health Stadium, so you get the full game day experience every week. Whether your participant is brand new to the sport or already obsessed with football, Next Level focuses on skill building, teamwork, and growth. It's an incredible way to build confidence, make friends, and learn from true role models. Registration for the 2026 Next Level Spring Flag Football and Winter Volleyball seasons at UC Davis are now open. Spots are going fast, so sign up today at nextlevelsports.com. Give your athlete the best youth sports experience. All right. We are here with Coach Plough and Aggie Pride UC Davis Football Podcast. Nick King is with me. I'm Brock Galvin. And yeah, Coach was kind of joking around. There's a few things that have happened so far this offseason, so we'll dive into them. But first and foremost, Coach, thanks for joining. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing great, man. I always appreciate coming on. And like I said, I'm shocked you guys want to talk to me because nothing's happened in the last, month or two. So I don't know what we're going to talk about, but
like Netflix
I'm always
shows,
that's whatever you need.
Yeah, whatever you're watching on TV, that sort of thing, right, Nick?
Yeah, that's right. Man, Coach, I told you last season was such a pleasure, and I think really personified Aggie Pride. And it's kind of sad for me, even being away from the program. Like, I know a lot of guys are leaving, a lot of guys are coming up. And so looking forward to next season. I was even talking to some of my buddies who are maybe not as plugged in. And I was really curious to hear from you. Like, who are the guys that are maybe we don't know as well that are upcoming that we can look forward to next season that can really be the catalyst for another great year?
Yeah, I mean, we have, again, such a large number of players coming back, which is exciting. I think about maybe the guys that played last year that, people saw, but maybe don't realize how good those guys are yet. I think about how good Zach Jones played at the end of the year, like in the playoff game, and Stacey Dobbins, like those two receivers. I think Stacey had 100 yards in the last playoff game, and Zach had a couple of big kick returns, and those two guys are going to be great players. Tyler Hennessy, who played as a true freshman. I mean, if you guys could see how hard he's working right now in the offseason for what he can be, there's a tight end. We call him Eddie K, Eddie Cahootsaville, who's a true freshman, is a guy that's going to be someone that we think has a chance to be really good. And then, defensively, think about Jackson Severs and like what he did replacing Porter, the type of season he had. You think about Drew Cofield as a true freshman, what he was able to do, and him coming back. So there's some guys that I think maybe people are familiar with, but there's also guys maybe they're not as familiar with. But a lot of guys coming back, so I'm excited about the roster and where it's at for sure.
That's awesome. And yeah, I thought, like I said, it's such a pleasure to see this team and really personify what you brought to the program, the Aggie Pride. And so I was excited to see the guys coming back, but excited to see who steps up because, as you know, Brock and I were kind of those guys that had to bide our time, wait, and once we got the opportunity to play, I mean, that was my mantra. I was like, hey, I'm not getting off the field once I get an opportunity. I know St. Brock was the same way. So really excited about that. The other question I had for you, I know you're a huge football fan. I see you tweeting all the time or Xing or whatever you want to call it. I know you probably have a little bit more downtime in the season, but I guess what stood out to you, whether it's college football, NFL? Is it plays, players? I know you're always talking about the quarterback game, but just kind of curious to see what you're seeing in this. It's been a fun season, both for the college football and NFL.
Yeah, obviously we've been pretty emotionally tied to the college football playoff because of Fernando, and how much he means to Christine and I. So it's been great watching him be able to do all this stuff. I mean, last night I got home from recruiting and he was on the Jimmy Fallon show. I was like, this is wild. So it's been cool seeing him have that much success, and just that whole Indiana story. I thought that was really cool, and what a well-coached, super disciplined team. It just gives a lot of coaches and teams probably hope of like, man, if we do this the right way, anything can happen. So I think that's awesome. The NFL games, I was going nuts the other day because the way the Bills Bronco game ended, and there were some timeout decisions and some things in that game that were driving me nuts. Just not knowing kind of why, and no one could really give me a good answer. But yeah, I think the quarterback play is always what I focus on. So watching Drake May, and Bo Nix and Josh Allen, with what those guys have been able to do. But the main guy is right now for me is Matt Stafford. Just watching the Rams play, he's playing football at a level that I don't think a lot of people have seen, and the throws that he made in that Bears game, in the weather, the no look dig throw he hit Devontae Adams on, and then the out route he threw to Devontae Adams late in the game. I feel like he's taken his game to a level where I was telling someone the other day, like, it'd be hard for me not to have him in like the top 10 all-time discussion with some of the stuff he's starting to do, especially if he wins another one. So I always look at the quarterback play, but I've always been an NFL guy over the college guy. So when I have a chance to watch, I usually watch NFL football.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nick, I don't know
Coach
about
Cat?
you. Oh yeah, go for it.
No. I know you've probably been asked a couple different times, but on this platform, I mean, can you talk a little bit about Fernando and like your connection to him? And obviously, you already have this quarterback pipeline, but I think it'd be great to hear from a broader group, like that connection and what that means for you.
Yeah, I think for me in my career, it's been kind of connecting different quarterbacks over the years, and whether it be my time at Davis, or when I was at NAU, or even my time at Boise or at Cal. There's these relationships when you're coaching quarterbacks. You get pretty in depth with these guys. Cal was a unique experience because we put together a bunch of really good coaches that had all been coordinators at different spots, and we were trying to really get the Cal offense to improve and get to a point where they could be competitive. So they brought in some transfer quarterbacks, and Fernando was already there. He was kind of an under-recruited guy, but he had gotten identified by the previous offensive coordinator as a guy they really liked, and he always had the frame and the arm strength and the intelligence. But it seemed like he was a developmental guy when we got there. So they really pushed us to get some transfers. So I know they went out and got two transfer guys and gave him NIL money, and Fernando was kind of an afterthought. And then as the season kind of got closer, it's hard when you're coaching guys. Sometimes they're trying to get these two transfer guys ready to play. They're trying to get them up to speed. Fernando's maybe not getting as much time as a guy like he would like. He's a guy that wants to meet all the time. So he, just kind of sought me out and was like, hey, I would love to meet with you. I know you coach quarterbacks for a long time, and I would love to just sit down with you whenever you got time and teach me the offense and teach me some quarterback stuff. And I would only have time late at night. Then he would come back. He was in the Haas Business School at Cal at this point, and he would still come back at night, and we would go, 8:00, 9:00, and we'd go till 11:00, midnight at night, and just talking about quarterbacking and the position, but also learning the offense. And as the year went on, we got about halfway through the year, and those quarterbacks were struggling. And so Fernando's number got called. And when his number got called, I figured, okay, that's probably it, And that week, same thing. He came in on Monday and was like, hey, we're going to meet, right? Like we've always been meeting. I'm like, yeah. So we just kept meeting throughout the year and got really, really close. And then at the end of the year, I stayed on, even though I took the Davis job. He really wanted me to be there for the bowl game. So I stayed for the bowl game for him. And And then he stayed at Cal for the extra year, and we stayed in contact the whole way through. So it was a cool glimpse into this whole thing's been really cool for me to talk to our quarterbacks about that. Just like Fernando said, right? He's an under recruited, low star guy. His hometown team doesn't even want him. I think he only had Yale was the only offer he had before he had Cal late. But he had a innate belief in himself and wanted to be really good. And I always tell the guys that play here, like, it's really up to you how good you want to be, right? And you guys are good examples of that too. Like, you can do the mandatory stuff. Like right now, our guys they're working out right now, right? They're running on the field in the cold, and then they got their lift with Coach Burke. And then on Fridays, we do a 1-hour football school where you meet with your coach and go over the installs or whatever you're going to do. If you only did that, that is what's required of you.
Yeah.
Right? Well, there's also guys that do a lot more. And if you drive by our facility and you see Bob Biggs' practice field, there are several guys that are out there working every single day. That's not required. They're just out there. There's also several players that are in our facility every day watching film, trying to meet with their coach, trying to get stuff done. And guys like Fernando stand out like that. He wanted to be great. He was third string, and it wasn't that he was mad that he was third string. He was just like, well, if I'm third string, I guess I got to work harder so I can find my way up the depth chart. So what can I do? I can meet with extra coaches. He met with me. He would meet with Coach Wilcox and learn about defense. I mean, he was trying to get better at everything until when he got his opportunity, he could take advantage of it. And what a great example of someone that really believed in themselves, but they also have, I've always said with quarterbacks, Coach Hawk used to talk about this, but the great quarterbacks have a rage to master. Like, they want to be great at the position and they want to master it. And they have a rage inside of them that, like, I want to learn this. And then that becomes what I've learned. It becomes a joyful obsession. And something Jake Mayer and I always talk about is the joyful obsession, because he had that. He had that rage to master, and then he became joyfully obsessed with being really good. And you see that with Fernando and where it's taken him from third string at Cal to probably the number 1 draft pick in the NFL. And how many quarterbacks have we seen in our lifetime where it's a similar story, right? The Tom Brady story or the Brock Purdy story or Aaron Rodgers, nobody wanting him in high school, and so he goes to a JC. There's probably more quarterbacks like that than there are of the Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck guys that it's like from birth you knew they were going to be the number 1 draft pick. So as many Peyton Manning, Andrew Lucks out there, there's Fernandos and Brock Purdy's and guys like that nobody wanted. And now they're just as successful. It's just, how hard are you willing to work? And it's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. And the great ones are willing to do more than the others. And I love this time of the year because I can tell which players are going to be willing to do more than the others. Some guys are out there every day and some guys aren't, and I can't make them go out there. It's just some guys have that and some guys don't.
Yeah. Interesting. A couple weeks ago, we had Scott Gordon on, and he did a really good job of kind of laying out, he's a quarterback, as you know, and spent time with the program, has coached in kind of Folsom area with, I think, Paul Doherty at times. And he was basically saying, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Plough does with the quarterback position now that Caden's gone. We have a really talented room. I was always kind of worried about that because I'm like, dang, there's so many talented guys. And in this day and age, like, how do you keep them all? We know what's happened. Razors at Incarnate Word, Penix at Washington State. But this past week, and one of the reasons why we wanted to chat with you today, you guys announced your portal class. And I don't know if there's more to add to that, but some significant names in there. There's also still significant names in the room, as you know. And when you're talking about the different journeys of quarterbacks, whether you're like the 5-star blue chipper who goes to a, Power 5 school back in the day and ends up being a draft pick, that's one route. But there's a lot of different routes, even for yourself at Davis. And so talk to us about, the room as it stands now. I know that you've had your press conference where you've kind of dissected Caden. You're welcome to talk about that more, but Jackson Collick is a really interesting story. He's only spent a year at Minnesota, threw for a gazillion yards at Laguna Beach, big kid. big arm. And yet you also have trainer Cleveland, who we were always like, that guy looks pretty good. And then you have Axel Eason with the lineage. So talk to us about the room, the stories in that room, and kind of how you see it shaking out this offseason.
Yeah, I think you know, the big thing that I was trying to communicate, whether it be at the end of the year or the press conference, is, you know, it's not my job to convince guys to stay. You know, it's my job to give them advice and to give them, you know, what I think I've worked for over all these years, what I think would be the best path for each guy. I think the shocking thing with the Caden situation was that everything that was getting communicated to us was that he was going to be here a long time and wanted to be here, and that changed, right? And he's got the right for that to change. But over Christmas break, you know, some people got involved, and that changed. And um, you know, I think, again, and he knows this. Him and I talked at length when he was gone. I disagree with his decision because I think it's a risky decision by him. But at the same time, that's a grown man decision, and if that's the path he wants to go, that can work out for him. It could be great, you know. So I disagreed with it. I was really proud of what we did as a program because as those discussions came over the Christmas break, it was really testing us as a program to see, okay, here's a guy that could obviously make some money NIL wise if he left, just like a lot of our guys. What are we able to come to the table with that would be comparative to other FCS top guys, whether it be, you know, Montana State, Montana, the Dakotas? And I was really proud of Rocco and Chancellor May and our program because we did come to the table with, hey, here's what we got. You know, what we weren't going to do is sacrifice our ability to take care of other guys on the team. And that was something that we couldn't come to an agreement on. And so that's the decision that he made. But one thing I was telling our staff and our team was we will always have great quarterback play at Davis. I think Caden's a great player. I think Miles is a great player. I think Jake Mayer's a great player. Whoever the next guy is will be a great player. And I think that hopefully people listening to the podcast or fans of the team, I think I've hopefully earned that type of trust from you guys. Like, hey, we're going to be okay at quarterback. You know, whoever that ends up being, we'll be all right. I think we do a great job coaching that position. I think we do a great job recruiting that position. We're going to miss Caden, but you know, whoever the next guy is will be good. And that's what I was trying to say in the press conference. Like, if you look at just the line of guys, no one thought Miles was any good. They wanted to run Miles out of here. When I got here, everyone was like, man, you know, we got to find a quarterback. And I'm thinking Miles is great, right? And he ends up having the best season in school history. And then he leaves and everyone's like, man, what are we going to, I mean, we lost Miles. Like, who are we going to have? And then everyone's talking about how great Caden is, and he wins freshman of the year. And then Caden transfers, and oh my gosh, I mean, what are we going to do? Caden left. And it's like, guys, we're going to be okay. Like, we'll take care of that. And so I'm excited about the room because, you know, and I think David Razor's situation is different. You know, David had been here for a long time. He was older, and the conversations I had, again, honest conversation with him, I thought it was a good move for him to look for a place to play because I thought the odds of him starting here were going to be low. You know, not that we weren't going to give him an opportunity, but I wanted to be honest with him and say, hey, the odds might not be in your favor. And if you want to play, let's find a place for you to play. And I was really excited for him that he went to Incarnate Word because I think that's a great program. Quarterbacks throw for a lot of yards. And David's a great dude. So I think it's always different in the quarterback room because it's always about opportunities. And so really, really happy for David. And like I said, I'm rooting for Caden. I'm not mad at Caden. That's just part of college football nowadays. And I can, just like I would tell him, I can tell him I disagree with his decision. Doesn't mean I'm mad at him. Still love him. Still going to be rooting for him. And the guys we have in the room, you know, Trainer Cleveland is extremely talented. I think we've been pretty open about that. I think he has a chance to be an NFL draft pick, to be quite honest, with just a lot of the stuff he has going for him from his athleticism, but also his size and his pedigree. And, you know, his parents are great people. They were great athletes. And I think he's got a great future. and feel the same way about Axel Eason. You know, Axel's a tremendous athlete. Obviously, his dad, the connection with Davis, and I think Axel's size and athleticism, and right now he's meeting with Coach Biggs on the side, helping with his throwing motion. Who else would you rather have helping you develop as a thrower than Coach Biggs, right? So, really excited about those two guys. And our signed incoming freshman, Jack Brandt, who was our top recruit for 2026, a guy up in Idaho that we think has a chance to be really good. And unfortunately, he tore his knee up at the end of his senior year in high school, and so he's going to actually enroll the following January so he can get his knee healthy. Ty Miller is a committed recruit we had in the previous class, but he went on a mission because he's LDS, and so he's going to show up here in a year, and he was a top recruit for us. So we feel great about those four guys. But, you know, Shelton and I talked at length about we don't like to recruit transfer quarterbacks. That's not something that we like to do because I'm a big believer in raising the quarterback just like a son. Like you want him at birth. You want to get him at the beginning, and you want to work him all the way through. And that was what's really disappointing about the Caden thing, right? Is you get a guy at the early stages and you give him a little piece of what he can be, and then he leaves before you can give him the other pieces, you know. And I was really hoping we could teach him all the things that we do here, what it takes to be a great quarterback, and then he could go somewhere. Was hopefully the path. And so taking transfer guys is not what we want to do, but only having two guys in the room is something that I wasn't really comfortable with. We need to have at least another guy in the room that can throw a football. And so, you know, Shelton was pretty bullish on we need to go get somebody. And as soon as Caden left, obviously we were getting flooded with guys that want to come play here, you know, and we having to kind of work through this 5-star guy, this 4-star guy, you know, okay, this guy's got an agent. He's calling us like, hey, if you let me come and start for 1 year, right, I'll help you guys win a championship, and then I'm going to transfer out of there and go make some money. Like that was a lot of the communication we were getting from guys like, hey, I went to Texas, I went to Washington, I'm at Georgia. I mean, all these different schools of guys. And hey, you let me come here and I will help you guys win, help me for a year, get some stats, and I'm going to bounce and go make some money. Right. And I wasn't really comfortable with that either. And so we were looking for, hey, who's a guy? I don't care how many stars you have. I just want a guy that's a really good player that wants to compete, wants to help us win, wants to develop, understands Davis, and wants to help Davis. And I feel like we hit that out of the park with Jackson. You know, Jackson obviously was a highly recruited guy out of high school. I'm familiar with a lot of the people that he knows down south, and all the reports we got was this guy's a worker. He's super talented. He just wants an opportunity to compete, and we're going to give him that. You know, so I was really happy with getting to know his family and getting to know Jackson. And I know he's itching to get up here and get going. And he'll be able to start in spring with us, and so we'll have those three guys out there getting a bunch of reps. And I feel great knowing that we're going to be going into the fall with Jackson and Trainer and Axel in the room. And I'm very confident that we're going to be able to win a championship with all three of those guys. And I'm just as excited about Jack Brandt and Ty Miller when they get here and how good they're going to be. And so it will be a loaded room, and it'll always be a loaded room. And I told Jackson and Trainer and Axel, same, like every year I'm going to try to recruit a quarterback that's better than you guys. You know, it's your job not to let me. Right? It's your job to be really good and make it difficult and compete. And that room should be a room of lions, right? That should be lions in that den, just getting better every single day. And whatever lion emerges out of that den is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And I'm excited about that. At the same time, right, I knew Grant Harper was a good quarterback. And I knew when Caden got surprisingly sick that 1 week that everyone was going to freak out. And I knew Grant Harper was going to light it up just like he did, right? So I'm excited about that room. I think we're going to be more than fine. And, you know, I think that we have a good chance of having not only one guy, but multiple guys in that room that are going to be great football players. And, you know, if they're willing to stick to the process and stay and learn and go through that, I think this is one of those places where you can learn how to play the position as well as any. And I would not be shocked if if one of those guys or a couple of those guys are getting paid to play football someday, if they go through that process. So I'm excited about those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that the trickle down effect of like confident leadership and how you said, I think it's natural when anything changes, right? Like human nature, I remember sudden change situations. It's like those are difficult moments in life. Like something has changed. We gotta adapt to it. And so when there's an injury, a sickness, a transfer, like those are moments that can shake some foundations, but like your confidence trickling down to the quarterback room's confidence, quarterback being the leader of the team in most teams, it's gonna be fun for us as fans to know like, hey, there's a lot of talent in the room. There's probably always gonna be a lot of talent in that room. And we just kind of get to witness it and watch it. But from a player's perspective, we all know like that competitive interesting dynamic of being on a team where you're rooting for your teammates and then you're also trying to win the job. And so it's going to be fun to see how that plays out. There's a few other guys that you've announced and part of this portal class, the tight end from Cal, which we've done that before. It worked out pretty well with McAllen Castles. You also have a linebacker from Saddleback. You have the running back from Weber State. I'm probably missing one, but the safety from Idaho. So some fun players in there, guys who seem like they could be impact players. Any other kind of highlights from the class?
Yeah, I think what we've done the last 2 years, and I really love the way that we recruit our roster. We're driven by high school recruiting, so we are going to recruit high school players and we are going to bring top high school talent in because schools don't recruit high school players anymore. And so the type of high school talent we're able to accumulate every year is the best we've ever had. And this incoming high school class is by far the best high school class we've ever had. But what we do at the end of that is we get to January and we always say, okay, what are the positions that we lack depth? And can we go get some people to help us so that our depth is where it needs to be so we can go win a championship? Obviously, quarterback was an area of concern. We need to find some depth there. Running back was a concern. With Carter Vargas transferring out, we needed to find somebody. And man, we feel like we hit a home run. I know people are going to focus on the quarterback, but Chauncey, who's known as Boogie, is a guy that when his film came across, we were like, dang, this is a no-brainer for us. And obviously, again, he had opportunities to go play at a lot of other places, some big-time programs. But he was going to go there and maybe get paid some money, but maybe be a depth piece, third, fourth guy on the depth chart or something. And he wanted to play, right? And so he came up here on a trip, and man, his family and they hit it off right away. You could tell this guy was a Davis guy. And man, I think coupling him with Fisher, man, I am fired up about that. That guy is going to make an immediate impact. And you guys know as well as I do, like you got to have two backs. You can't just have one. And as great as Fisher is, and having Fisher choose to come back, which was a big, big deal for us. But being able to add Boogie, awesome. He's a really talented back, can catch the ball to the backfield. He can take it all the way to the end zone. Got some size behind him. Really excited about him. Houseworth, the great thing about Houseworth is every year in high school recruiting, we rank out our recruits and we rank it 1 to 100. Like who's our number one recruit all the way down to 100. And that's how we go attack recruiting. Once we get done with January, February, March, we make our top 100. And that's the guys we go out and watch in person. And then we start offering scholarships off of that. Houseworth was our number one. So in his class, he was our number one recruit. And we were recruiting our butt off to try to get him. And he got some big time offers. One of them was Cal, and he felt great about that. And we, couldn't argue that Cal's a great place. And he goes to play there. There's a coaching change. The new coaches come in. They're going to go a different direction. They kind of push him out. And so now all of a sudden we have a chance to get our number one recruit from our previous class and get him in here. I mean, that was huge for us. And tight end obviously is a position that we're worried about from a depth standpoint. Winston choosing to come back and not transfer, big deal, right? And then we talked about Eddie K as a younger tight end that we think is going to be a great player. But man, we can't have just those two guys. We need another player in there. So getting Houseworth in is a big deal. And he's a big physical athlete. This guy, he could play DN for us. He could play linebacker for us. But really excited about him. And historically, we get guys from North State. You get guys out of Eureka or any of those areas, the Mark Manfredas, right? The Colton Silverias, the Jimmy Kunkles. These guys have all been really good players for us, right? And so the Ryan Sharps, right? So excited for Houseworth. Think he's going to be a great player. Hayden John was a guy at Idaho last year. We played against him. He actually had an interception against us. I mean, he's a really good player. And again, he was looking for a home. Kind of a new staff turnover at Idaho. He came in there with Eck. New staff comes in. They're moving a different direction. And obviously, with things up in the air right now, with where Rex is coming back or not, Tico graduating, Cole Batson's gone, Jaden Stanley's gone. We got some young players that we really like. Cam Totten is going to be one of the best players we've recruited here, but he tore his ACL, so we're waiting for it's going to be a while for him to come back. So we need some depth. So getting Hayden John in there is a big deal. Jack, the JC linebacker, similar situation. We think he's going to be a great player, and the uncertainty of what's going to happen with Porter, we wanted to make sure we had someone else in the room that could compete with Corey McEnroe, who's a guy we really like. And Christian Canoose is one of our top recruits from a year ago, had to get hip surgery. We don't know exactly when he's going to be back. So now we can add Jack into that situation where, okay, we got some depth at linebacker just in case Porter doesn't come back. So we were able to add these little pieces in to spots where we don't have great depth. We love the players that are there, but let's make sure we have enough depth so that when we get into the season, we're trying to play 15, 16 games. We got enough guys at those spots that can help us. We're not done. We have two guys up here this weekend right now that we're hoping we can lock them in. And if we get those two guys, I do feel really good about our roster. Probably the best roster we've had in a long time. But I think the main thing I want to make sure everybody knows is the biggest recruits we had are the guys that did not transfer, the guys that love Davis and are willing to take less because they want to get their degree and they want to win a championship at Davis. And there's a lot of guys, but Sam Batu should be recognized for the loyalty and his decision to come back. Now gives him a chance to be in that Rex Land, Keelan Doss train of thought. This guy turned down a lot of money to be an Aggie and graduate as an Aggie, right? Jace Rodriguez, Zaire Collier, David Main. These are all guys that could have gone somewhere else, and they want to be here. Jordan Fisher could have left for more money. Wants to graduate as an Aggie, chose to come back. Jackson Severs, Rain Mayo, Trent Carrad, Sam Golagowski, Drew Cofield, Ty Richardson. These are all guys that were offered lots of money to leave. And every single one of them came in, sat with me one-on-one. We talked about their situation. Every single one of them is like, I'm not leaving, coach. I want to win a championship. I'm an Aggie. I'm a Davis guy. Those are the biggest recruits, right? Those are the guys that I think about like, man, that's awesome that we've created that type of environment and culture where a lot of our guys stay. And even though we had two guys leave, think about the other teams. Montana State wins a national championship. The next day, they got a dozen guys in the portal, or how many guys left Montana. It's just the way of college football. But what makes Davis unique is most of our guys are going to stay and at least graduate before they go. I think that points to where we're at. And that's why we got to do a great job as a Davis community, as alumni, as donors. Okay, these guys are staying. But we do need to help them financially. We got to help them pay for rent. We got to help us with nutrition. Make sure their experience here is top notch so that they do want to stay. And even though we're not going to pay these guys the type of salaries they could get, we still want to take care of them. And I'm really happy at the direction we're going right now to be able to make these guys have that type of experience here. But I'm excited about the depth we were able to get. Hopefully we lock these two guys down this weekend and we'll announce those guys, and then you'll see kind of the whole roster shake out, and I'm really excited about it.
Man, Coach, you're giving me goosebumps for a Friday morning. I'm gonna be going to work jacked for my next meeting, man. It's pretty clear. You mentioned that all these guys sitting down with you one on one. Like it seems like it's a no brainer for me to stay at this program, follow your lead. So just want to thank you again. I've like a million follow ups, and I know we probably have a timing issue, but I think we'd be remiss. It made me a little sick. You know, we all love quarterbacks, but as a D lineman, we can only hear about it so much. And I have to say, you know, the D line was such a strength of the team, and hearing Sam coming back. Well, obviously Jacob is leaving. So would you mind and indulge us to talk a little bit about the D line, the state of the D line, especially from last year and where the team is this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited about that group. We got a bunch of young guys too that we were able to redshirt that are going to be impact guys for us. Guys like Devin, um, guys like TP, Tyler Parker. You know, these are guys that are super talented, young guys. Julian, you know, these are really, really good players. Jerry's one of the better recruiters in the country, always is loading up with guys, bringing them in. We have a top defensive lineman coming in from Hawaii, Ben, that we're really excited about. So all those guys, I think, are names that maybe you don't know about that you'll see. Jaden Few, who played as a true freshman and really plays the same position as Jacob Syke, you know, really excited about him. But Joey Carrillo, who returns from an ACL injury, Joey's going to be back at that defensive end spot. So you're looking at Jaden and Joey at the field end spots. We love those two guys. Rain Mayo, who's just one of the better players in the country, interior wise. Trent Carrad, who's really become one of the better players we've had here in a long time. He can play three technique. He can play nose. He can play D end. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. And then, you know, Grant Garrettson, who's a great edge presence for us. Unfortunately, just been getting injured the last couple of years. He made the decision to come back and not transfer. Another guy I forgot to mention, Grant's a great player for us. And obviously Sam deciding to come back and not transfer, and what he brings to the table as a pass rusher and getting better, knowing he's got to get more physical and put some more weight on. But he wants to be here to do that. You know, so I think you think about Sam and Grant on the edge with McCray, right? You think about Trent and Rain interior with Julian and Devin and TP behind them. You think about Jaden Few and Joey Carrillo on the field end spot. You got some serious depth now. I mean, you got some guys that can really get after the quarterback, stop the run. So that's definitely one of our strengths of our team next year is our offense and defensive lines are deep, physical, athletic, and they're only getting better with the guys that we're bringing in. So I think we're doing a great job building the fronts. Mike and Jerry are in charge of recruiting for us as a team, because Mike and Jerry are by far our best recruiters. And so they do a great job helping our staff figure out where they're going to go. But they kind of spearhead our recruiting, and our fronts are a great example of that.
So, hey, Coach, tell if Sam wants to get bigger, you know, tell him, yeah, I live down the street. We can go lift together. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think his spin move is nasty, man. Yeah.
Well, Sam, if you want to talk to Sam, that's going to be a good 2-hour conversation, and none of it will be about anything you want to talk about. Knowing Sam, he'll have a million things he wants to discuss with you. But as much as you love the spin move, I think it makes Coach Coombs sick to his stomach every now and then when he tries it. But Sam's super talented, obviously one of the better pass rushers in the country, and we're really lucky to have Sam back for sure because he's an impact player for us.
Hey, sometimes DNs, you know, they got to break the rules to make the big play. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to break the rules to make the big play. That is like, true. If you're always playing within the rules, the offense knows that too. So sometimes you just got to do something out of left field. And he is a goofy guy. I love that. Okay, we'll finish on this. You have picked up the Cal Poly DC to be your new special teams coordinator. And, you know, I think that's a new coordinator for the second straight year because Coach Jackson moved back to his home school. I'm interested in what that's like. And this is just a reminder. I'm probably not going to make it to the wine night in the city on February 28th. It's going to be a beautiful night. Nick King will be there. Danny Alfaro will be there. I'm at a conference, kind of sucks. But what you can do is you can sponsor a coach like our new special teams coordinator to go. It's $250 and it gives them a seat in the house. So for those who have not signed up yet, you can sign up for the wine night. now if you want to bring you and your special someone. But if you can't make it, you live out of state, you're like Gary Gabrew or Grabrew, who literally flew in from the East Coast with his scarf to the Rhode Island game, a UC Davis alum. Probably is not going to fly out for this. You can still sponsor a coach or sponsor a full ticket. So, Coach, I'll give you the mic for the final word. Feel free to chat about any coaching staff things and any wine night reminders.
Okay, yeah. Well, the coaching stuff that I'm able to announce right now. The first one, and he deserves his flowers, is Kevin Burke. Kevin has been with the program now even before I was here, coaching running backs, and Kevin, just like a lot of our coaches, younger guys that have the ability to be coordinators and move up in this business. And every year when the season ends, I'm working hard to see how we can help our coaching staff and where guys are at. Kevin, as you guys know, was one of the best quarterbacks in the history of Division III at Mount Union, and was recently given the opportunity to be the offensive coordinator at Mount Union, and that's where Kevin's going to go. Yeah, I think he just got there a couple of days ago. He drove out there. It's been fun chatting with him and him getting excited to run his own offense and help his program win a national championship again at Mount Union. And so, we love Kevin. Super happy with the time that I had with him. Proud of him and really looking forward to see what he does at Mount Union. And so we're gonna miss him, but we're gonna be hiring a new running back coach hopefully here next couple weeks. We just wanted to give Kevin the salute on the podcast. That man, I'm super excited for him, and for Aggie fans, make sure you're tuning into some Mount Union games and rooting for KB to get those guys to win a national championship again. But you think about his impact with Lan Larison, and Jordan Fisher, Mateo Perez, Kobe Herman, our incoming running back that we're really excited about from La Costa Canyon. Kevin did a great job for us, and so I'm really proud of him and happy to see him move on to be a coordinator, which I'm sure more of our guys will do in the future. You mentioned the special teams. When I got home at the end of the season, I was in a dark place, guys. Like, I was not detaching from results the way that I preach. Disappointed in myself for sure. So I'm sitting in San Diego at my parents' house and, sitting outside by myself all day, grumpy and bummed out and feeling like I let everybody down, that we cannot figure out a way to win those last games or two. But I talked with Coach Peterson at length on the phone about, what we're at as a program. And he asked me something I thought was really, what makes him great. He said, "Tim, did you lose the game because those teams are better than you? Or did you lose the game because we haven't maximized how good we can be?" And, man, I thought about that a lot over break when I wasn't talking to agents about NIL stuff. I was thinking about, how do we maximize our team? And so looking at offense, defense, special teams, all three areas, how can we be better? And when I got here, one of the big things I wanted a special teams coordinator. I want a guy that only coaches special teams, and that's his life, and that's what he wants to do. And we hired a guy right away when we got here, and within a couple of months, he bounced and took another job, and it kind of put us in a really tough spot. And so Jack took a big sacrifice and decided to coach special teams, even though his heart is with defense, right? And then he left us to go to his alma mater, which I'm proud of him for. And Chapetti took over special teams, but is still, his heart's on offense. He wants to be an offensive coordinator one day, and it's hard to coach special teams and coach tight ends and try to, further yourself in your career as an offensive coach. And in thinking about it, Taylor did a great job with our special teams, but I really want to build our special teams up to be better. I want it to be a national championship element of our team. And Cody Von Oppen is a family member to me. I mean, he's like a little brother, and a guy that I coached with at Northern Arizona. You guys know my relationship with Andy Thompson, who's coaching at Stanford. And, Cody was a guy that was just around me and Andy and learning how to coach. And as he furthered his career, he became the defensive coordinator at Cal Poly. They had a coaching change, and, talked with Cody at length about, man, I need someone that wants to be a special teams coordinator. I need somebody that wants to be with me for a long time, similar to Coach Shelton and Coach Coombs, and a guy that is all in on that. Um, and I know that he had opportunities to go be a defense coordinator other places, or coach defensively other places. But I wanted to know, like, hey, man, if you want to help me build this, I need someone that's locked into doing that for a long time. And he called me back and said, let's do it. I'm all in. I want to do that. And so I'm super excited to have Cody here. And now I know that's somewhere where we're not going to have a lot of change anymore. We've had a new guy every year, and now we can lock somebody in, and he's going to be here for the long haul with us and develop our special teams and get that to a place that we want it to be. So really excited about Cody, and man, I'm fired up to have him here. Another great recruiter for us, a guy from Hawaii, and that's obviously an area that we're trying to really focus on is recruit the state of Hawaii, and get some guys from that state that can help us, like Ben, this last year. So excited about Cody. As for the wine event, it's just, I want to reiterate, for us to win a national championship, we've got to win off the field as much as we win on the field. And this, last few months is another example of where we got to get in regards to our support and what we're doing for these guys. And this event, I hope, is a way for us to get 100, 200 people in a room and talk about UC Davis football and why it's something I think that we all want to support and where we can help and what the financial support will give us. And I'm not trying to pay salaries to players or to outbid other teams. That's not what we're ever going to be here. What I do want to have is enough financial support so that we can create an environment for these guys where all they have to worry about is go to school, play football, and be the best they can be. And one of the biggest issues we have right now is just, can guys pay for rent? I mean, can they live here in Davis? And you just can't do that on a stipend. And I know that there's guys that are listening that, hey, man, I didn't get any scholarship money. I was a walk-on back in Division II, and I hear that story all the time, and I get it, man. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect guys like that. But my comment to them is, hey, that's great, but it's different. We're in Division I. We're playing Division I competition. And if we want to compete in Division I, we got to do what Division I teams do. Just like when we competed in Division II, nobody had scholarships, so it made sense, right? Like, yeah, Division II, that's what it was. That's how we competed at that level. Now we're a top Division I program. We've got to compete like a top Division I program, and financial support and NIL and helping guys out, that is a part of that. And if we want to take the next step and beat those teams, we got to be able to compete with those teams off the field. This event is a time for us to be able to talk about those things. Hey, what does that look like? Where does the money go? Right? It goes to feeding our players. It goes to us traveling better. It goes to us helping pay for these guys' rents in the summertime so that they have a chance to work out here and not go home. They can stay here and train. That's where the money goes, right? And if we're able to get a little bit more, we're going to be able to take care of our guys, and they're not going to want to leave. One of the things we joke about with our players is, I was sitting in here with Rain Mayo recently, and he was like, Coach, man, if you paid for parking and helped me pay for rent, I would never leave. Like, why would I ever leave? This is the best place in the country. But, man, parking, as you guys know,
Taps, man.
Man, taps is all over these guys, right? Like, help me pay for parking, help me pay for rent. I'll never leave Davis, right? And I'm thinking, if that's all we have to do, man, we can raise enough money to help these guys, right? Let's get these guys a parking pass. Let's get these guys their rent taken care of. We're already feeding them a lot better. And if you do that, these guys this will be one of the top places on the West Coast to come play football. And I think we can do that, right? We're not there yet, but we just got to get more people involved. And so this wine event is a great opportunity to come out and just hear from me, hear from our administration. What are the things we need? And how can you help us financially get that done? And we're going to be able to drink some great wine at this event. We're going to have some great auction items, whether it be, sporting event tickets, traveling with the team, different wines you can purchase, some great vacations. You can take your family and bid on these vacations and go to these different spots in the country or outside the country, and memorabilia, signed stuff from Lan Larison or Jero Evero or guys that, are in the NFL ranks, Dan Whalen. These are guys that, if you want some memorabilia, some Aggie stuff, different things we can bid on and hopefully raise some money. and that money goes towards our program so that we can help compete with these teams so that when we get to these games, we can be successful. And I think the biggest thing I'm trying to reiterate to people is we're going to keep getting back to this game. We're going to keep getting back to the playoffs. We're going to keep competing. Let's not lose the other 350 days off the field, right? And then think that we're going to magically get on the field and beat those teams that are beating us for 300 days off the field. Let's compete with them for the other 300 days as well. And that's where you guys, with this platform, our alumni, our donors, our community, we just need more people, right? And I know there's plenty of people that are going to be willing to help if they just know the why behind it. This is a great event to get in front of me and hear the why and hear the how. And so if you can get out there, man, if you can get out there on February 28th, you can get the link and you can sign up right now, $250, and that money goes straight to our program. And then we can bid on some other things to hopefully raise some money. If you can't make it, like Brock said, you can sponsor someone's ticket because our coaches, right, if they're not going to really go unless they get sponsored in that scenario, right? So let's get some money in there so our coaches can go to that event. You can also bid on the auction items if you can't make it, but you want to bid on one of these vacations, or you want to bid on this memorabilia, or you want tickets to some of these games. You can still bid on that even if you don't come. And all that money will go to our program and help us. And I'm hoping this is the first year of something that we can build on and do every year. Maybe we have 100 people this year, maybe 200 people the next year, and it builds up to be something that we do every single year. So I'm really excited about it. I know Josh Fleischman is working his butt off to try to get it done, as well as Cara and a couple other people are working really hard to get it done. Rocco's support, Chancellor May has been awesome, and so we're just trying to make sure we take the next steps to get this stuff figured out. And I need your guys' help, right? And that's why I'm so thankful to whenever you guys want me to come on and talk Aggie football, I'm down because you guys are helping us, right? Helping us get more people involved. And again, even if you can give $100, give $100. If you can give $1,000, give $1,000. If you can give $10,000, give $10,000. Whatever you're able to give and help us, I promise you it helps. I promise you it goes a long way. And we're getting there. It's a slow build, but we're getting there. And this is an event that if you love Aggie football, don't miss this event. This is really important to me and our program. And if you can make it, man, please be there. It'll help us.
Thank you, Coach, so much. And I think to try to tie things from where you said the guys are right now to where we are now, as you mentioned, good enough isn't good enough. The guys are staying late. We should take that as a challenge as alums, as fans, right? What last year, 5 years, 10 years ago is not good enough where the program needs to be. So there's a challenge is up. Personally speaking, I would love to get to the, beyond the double zeros, beyond that, but I'm contributing. And quite honestly, Davis got me to where I am today in my career. So I feel like I should give back, not only as a program, everything that it gave me, everything that I have, but really to support my family. So it feels like it's something that I want to do to help out because I would not be where I am today without the Davis program. So calling on, again, alumni, fan, do what you can. Coach isn't asking you to do everything, but it really is just help out, do what you can, and let's see what this program can really build out to.
And I think, too, the other thing I say to all the players, man, Brock, Nick, Daniel Faro, Dwight, right? But also the guys that played in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. If you're a guy that's like, well, hey, we're already we've done a great job. We didn't have this and we were successful. Hey, none of you have won a national championship. Not one person at UC Davis can say, well, we won a national championship. No one has, right? And so we've all had successful teams. Right? We've all been close. At some point, we all got to sit down and say, what can we do differently to get further and to actually get to that last game and win it? And there's just no way to do that without more support and without more people involved. And again, I think I get passionate about it because I know how close we are. But that last step's the hardest step, man. That last step is the hardest one to do. And the more people we get involved, I am so convinced that we will get this done. And the last 2 years have proven that to me, that we can do this. But, man, we need to do it differently. We need to do it better. And, man, the support I'm getting from Rocco and from Chancellor May is just making me more and more motivated to get this done. And we just need more help. We need more people. So spread the word, man. Spread the word. And like you said, Nick, it doesn't matter how many zeros are behind it. It just matters that you're helping, that you want to be a part of it. And if you want to be a part of it, man, then you get to be on that podium with us, right? And I know that I joke around with Bruce Edwards and Paul Salaberry and Ron Vanderpool and some of the guys that are really helping us at a higher level. And it's like, man, I can't wait to win that last game and hand that thing to them. And right. And they can hand that to you. And we all were a part of that. Right. And so we can get this done. We just got to have more people involved. And what I want to do is be able to educate people the why and the how behind it. So they know, hey, where's this money going? What are we trying to do? What do we need to help? What do these guys need? And I think if they hear that story, they're going to all want to help. Like, oh man, I want to help guys have their rent covered. I want to help guys get fed. I want to help guys be comfortable at Davis. And yeah, we're not in the world where we're paying guys hundreds of thousands of dollars because we don't need to be. This place is so great that guys will stay if we just make their experience a positive one. So let's do that. Let's help these guys have a great experience. And if we do that, I promise you the football will take care of itself. We're going to get after people. And we got the type of roster coming back next year that we can do it. Next year could be the year. But let's make sure we help these guys and take care of them.
We're on the cusp. We all feel it. It's already a special program, but it's on the cusp of becoming even more special. So thanks to you, Coach. We know it's a lot of hard work, a lot of long days, morning and evenings and everything in between. So appreciate your hard work. And best to you and everyone in the program. Nick, thanks for joining. We'll be on here again before the wine night to chat more about that, but looking forward to all that comes with this off season, and you guys have a great weekend.
Appreciate you guys, man. Go Ags. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go Ags.